So I thought I'd do a book review here. I am in Stockholm, Sweden still, and it is my last day here. I'm getting ready to go on a boat to Finland, actually taking a cruise, a party cruise to Finland, an overnight cruise. And then I'll be staying in Finland in Helsinki for about 2 days, and then going to Tallinn, Estonia, taking a boat over there as well. So I thought I'd do a book review about a book that I actually pre-ordered. I don't pre-order a lot of books, but based on the author and the content of the book, I decided to pre-order this book. The book is called Perennial Seller, and the author is Rian Holiday, who's actually I consider him a friend. He's a guy that I highly respect. I've done a lot of book reviews on his books. One of the first book reviews I ever did, in fact, before I was doing these regular reviews, was on his book called The Obstacles Away. You can check out that review here. But he's a really good author and really good guy. I've talked to him a few times. I've written some articles for him for the Orbiter, I think is what he was doing, and he's given me some advice on launching books, on the whole writing thing. So he's definitely someone who I highly respect in that regard. So anyway, let's talk about the book itself. So the book was pretty timely because this was a book that came out right after I launched my book. So if you haven't checked out my book, definitely click and go check out the Complete Software Developer's Career Guide. That's my book that I launched, and he launched on the same day apparently. So that's kind of cool. But what he has in this book is a lot of information about how to launch a book, and not just a book, but anything that you create, and making that into something that will be a perennial bestseller, something that you're going to be able to continue to sell for a long time after you produce it, right? So a lot of things that get created, a lot of things get launched, a lot of movies, a lot of things that you might buy, they're not perennial, right? So one of the first things that and I really resonated with this, because this is something that I really strive to do, right? So everything I try to create, I try to make it as perennial as possible, right? Even if you think about like this YouTube video, like this review of the book, it's not present day news, right? It's not something that is going to go out of style, right? You could be searching, 5 years from now and find this this review on this book if you're thinking about buying that book, right? Just as long as the book is perennial, this YouTube video will be perennial as well. And so a lot of the content that I create, I try to create perennial content anyway. If you think about it, if you look at my first book, if you haven't checked that out, you can check out Soft Skills, Software Developers Life Manual. And that was my first book. And I tried to make that, when the publisher had approached me and asked me to write a book, I said, well, I'm not going to write just a technical book on some kind of programming language or something obscure that is going to be, and that's what they assumed, right? They assumed, hey, maybe you'll do an Android book, or maybe you'll do an iOS book or something like that, because that's what I was doing a lot of at that time, or something off of one of my Pluralsight courses. But I said, no. If I'm going to spend the time and the effort to write a book, I'm going to write a book that is going to, sell for years, right? That's going to sell for at least 10 years. And so I pitched the idea of this new book, of the Soft Skills to Software Developers Life Manual, a book that really hadn't been done before in the technical industry, a book that's entirely based on soft skills, right? Something that is going to sell for a long time. So anyway, I'm getting a little off topic here, but I'm saying that because this is something that I think is really important, and that's what this book talks about. So this book is all about how to think about when you create something, right? If you're going to spend the time to create a movie or to create a book or to launch something or to start a business, whatever it is, you should create something that is going to be perennial, that's going to sell over time. And there's some real good examples in the book. One of the best examples is a movie called The Shawshank Redemption, which really just bombed at the box office, but it's one of the largest grossing movies of all time, right? It constantly pays out residuals to the actors in the movie, and it constantly pays out just because it is such a long-running show. If you turn on the television set today, right, you'll find Shawshank Redemption somewhere on a channel because it's played so often, you know. So the book is really about that. It's about trying to, you know, figure out what is it that makes something a perennial seller. What is it that makes it so that you can continue to sell something and make money over it after time, or make money from it after time. And that's, you know, there's a different mindset there. And it doesn't mean that you can't have a big launch. It doesn't mean that you can't, you know, have records at the box office when you first launch something. But what it does mean is that you have to think about the long term, right? How can you build something or create something that is going to last for the long term? And so there's a lot to say about that, but the book covers it really, really well. And I love his section on marketing, talking about how marketing really just adds fuel to the fire, but marketing is not a way. So many people think that they're going to launch a product or they're going to launch a book or something, and that they're going to use marketing in order to sell it, and that doesn't work. It doesn't it doesn't work that way. Even, you know, people think that you're going to get on a television show or something and that's going to sell, you know, and that doesn't happen either, right? You know, some of the, in fact, he says in the book, because he's been on a few of the major networks on television, and he says that his book sales actually went down after those media appearances. They did not go up. There was no large spike, so there was actually no benefit at all from that kind of media. So just, you know, a lot of interesting things. Again, a lot of what I would say resonated with me because it's something that I've really focused on. And really, you could say that everything that I'm doing now in life, right, 90% of what I do, I'm trying to create perennial stuff. You know, that's why I write so many blog posts. That's why I write books that are going to be classics, or that can be classics. That's why I do these YouTube videos on the content that I do, is because I want them to last for a long time, and I want to keep on building that up. And the cool thing about this is the more perennial type of stuff that you create and you build up over time, the more that you're going to get this cumulative, like, snowball effect benefit from it. So right now, I've probably got like 20, 30 different revenue streams that are you know, in themselves. Most of them are small, you know, not super significant, but when you add them all up, it adds up to a lot of money every month. And that's all kind of passive and diversified income that is going to last for a long, long time. And it just keeps on adding up because these things are perennial, right? Then my efforts get multiplied over time and they become cumulative. So really recommend the book. You know, just probably the best book that and probably the only book I've really heard on the subject. And all of Rian's books are really good. I recommend that you read, you know, The Obstacle is the Way, Ego's the Enemy. I think was not my favorite, but definitely The Obstacle is the Way. And he's got what's it, the other one, that marketing book on Oh, Trust Me, I'm Lying, was also a really good book as well. But all right, if you like this video, if you haven't subscribed already, you know what to do. Click that subscribe button and make sure you click the bell down there so that you don't miss any videos that I do, especially while I'm traveling here. You're gonna get to see some cool sights as I go through some of the cities in Europe and keep on shooting videos. All right, I'll talk to you next time. Take care.